Forbes Burnham was born on February 20th, 1923, in Kitty, Georgetown, British Guiana, the second of 12 children to James Ethelbert Burnham, a respected schoolmaster, and Rachel Abigail Sampson Burnham. The family was deeply rooted in the Methodist faith, and their home was marked by discipline, learning, and a sense of purpose. From an early age, Forbes showed exceptional academic promise. He attended Kitty Methodist Primary School, where his father served as headmaster and displayed leadership qualities beyond his years. His early environment was strict but nurturing, instilling in him a sense of order and personal responsibility that would remain central throughout his life. In 1936, he entered Queen's College, the colony's most prestigious secondary school. There, Burnham's intellect flourished. He excelled in languages, literature, history, and debate, and earned a reputation as one of the brightest students of his generation. His confidence, sharp reasoning, and command of speech often set him apart. In 1942, he graduated as the top student, winning the British Guiana Scholarship, the highest academic honor available in the colony. This scholarship opened the door for him to pursue higher education in the United Kingdom, a journey that would expand his worldview and shape his political outlook. Years in England. In 1945, Burnham sailed to England to study law at King's College, University of London. He arrived in a Britain recovering from war, yet alive with political energy and debate. The experience was transformative. He became active in the West Indian Students' Union and the League of Coloured Peoples, where he met other colonial students who would later become leaders in their homelands, including Ghana's Kwame Nkrumah, Jamaica's Norman Manley, and Trinidad's George Padmore. Their conversations about race, freedom, and independence left a lasting impression on Burnham. His time in England refined his intellect and deepened his awareness of global politics. He read widely law, philosophy, and political theory, and learned to navigate British society with confidence. He graduated with his Bachelor of Laws, LLB, in 1947, and was called to the bar at Gray's Inn in 1948. When he returned home the following year, Burnham carried not only legal credentials but also a clear sense that his destiny lay in national leadership, return home, and legal career. Back in Georgetown in 1949, Burnham began a successful legal practice. His sharp intellect and commanding courtroom presence quickly made him one of the colony's most promising young barristers. His reputation for logic and persuasion brought him both respect and a growing public profile. At the same time, political activism was sweeping across British Guiana. Labour unrest and calls for independence were growing louder. Burnham's eloquence and organizational skill naturally drew him into politics. In January 1950, together with Dr. Cheddi Jagan, Janet Jagan, and others, Burnham co-founded the People's Progressive Party, PPP. The PPP represented a broad, multiracial coalition calling for self-government, social justice, and an end to colonial rule. Burnham was appointed chairman, while Cheddi Jagan became leader. The PPP's resounding victory in the 1953 election, the first held under universal adult suffrage, was historic. However, the British authorities soon intervened, suspending the constitution and removing the government, alleging communist sympathies. This event was a turning point for Burnham. It convinced him that the struggle for independence would require both diplomacy and discipline, and that leadership must be firm, not ideological. The founding of the People's National Congress. The partnership between Burnham and Jagan began to fray soon after. Personality differences, ideological disagreements, and racial divisions within the party deepened. Burnham's more moderate nationalist approach clashed with Jagan's Marxist orientation. In 1955, Burnham formally split from the PPP and established the People's National Congress, PNC. His new party attracted strong support from Afro-Guyanese communities, urban professionals, and sections of the working class. Burnham envisioned the PNC as a disciplined, organized movement built on self-reliance, education, and cooperative economics. He was a gifted organizer and speaker, and his political style, blending intellect with charisma, earned him loyal followers. By the early 1960s, British Guiana was on the threshold of independence, and Burnham was at the center of negotiations. In 1964, following elections and a coalition agreement with Peter d'Aguiar's United Force, Burnham became Prime Minister. 2 years later, on May 26, 1966, he presided over the birth of an independent Guyana. The moment marked the culmination of the dreams that had first taken shape during his student days in London, marriage and family life. During his early professional years, Burnham married Viola Harper, an educated and thoughtful Guyanese woman whose composure and quiet strength complemented his disciplined nature. The couple's marriage was rooted in mutual respect and shared faith. They had 3 daughters, Roxane, Annabelle, and Melanie, and were known to maintain a household defined by learning and structure. Burnham's family life remained private, though his deep affection for his wife and children was well known to his close associates. Viola Burnham herself would later serve in government, continuing her husband's legacy of public service after his death. Leadership and personality. Burnham was a complex man, scholarly, proud, and exacting. He combined an English-trained intellect with a Caribbean sensibility. His speeches reflected erudition and conviction, often quoting Shakespeare, Marcus Garvey, or the Bible. He was known for his precision, punctuality, and commanding presence. Even his critics acknowledged his ability to inspire confidence through sheer intellect and self-assurance. His leadership style demanded discipline from his colleagues and devotion to national ideals. Outside politics, Burnham loved literature, classical music, and philosophy. He was an avid reader with a personal library that reflected his wide intellectual appetite. Despite the demands of office, he valued time spent reading, writing, or reflecting in solitude. Personal wealth and lifestyle. Forbes Burnham was not a wealthy man by conventional standards. His income came largely from his government salary and his previous legal work. He did not engage in private business or accumulate large assets. He lived with his family at State House in Georgetown, maintaining a simple, orderly lifestyle. He was known for his elegance in dress, but avoided extravagance or indulgence. At the time of his death, his personal net worth was estimated at $200,000 to $400,000 US. Modest for a man who had led his nation for 2 decades. His wealth lay in his intellect and influence rather than in material possessions. Declining health and death. By the early 1980s, after nearly 20 years in power, Burnham's health began to deteriorate. He suffered from heart problems and related complications, but refused to slow down. Those close to him often remarked on his relentless work ethic and sense of duty. In August 1985, Burnham was admitted to Georgetown Hospital for what was described as routine throat surgery. During the operation on August 6th, he suffered heart failure and died at the age of 62. The news spread rapidly across Guyana and the wider Caribbean. The nation went into mourning, with thousands attending his state funeral. His body lay in state at the National Cultural Center before being interred with full honors. His wife, Viola Burnham, continued his public legacy, later serving as Vice President and Member of Parliament until her own passing in 2003. Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham's life story mirrors the evolution of Guyana itself, from colony to independent republic. Born to a humble family of educators, he rose through intellect and discipline to lead his country into independence and beyond. Please subscribe for more.